Hello again and welcome. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they were expressing that they have become very uncomfortable with the way leadership has changed over the years. And their comment was that leadership has changed, and it's less about doing your job than it is about making nice with people and connecting with people's feelings. And this made them very uncomfortable. And I began to think about that. Leadership hasn't changed, but our understanding of leadership has changed over the years. We become more and more aware as we go through the passage of time and do research on these things that what we thought worked in leadership years ago doesn't really work in leadership. There was a time when we thought that leadership traits were inherent to the individual. Either you were born with them or you were not born with them. So either you were born a leader or you were born a follower. We've long since moved away from that trait-based leadership theory. And we understand now that anyone can be trained to be a leader. Now, not all people want to be a leader, and that's completely fine, but anyone can be trained to be a leader. And now, as we move more and more into greater understanding of what leadership is and what works and what doesn't work, there's this trend towards something called empathetic leadership. And what exactly is empathetic leadership? And I'll read here. It's an approach that prioritizes understanding, compassion, and emotional intelligence to connect with and support team members. It involves actively listening to others, recognizing their emotions, perspectives, and needs, and fostering a workplace environment of trust, inclusion, and collaboration. Empathetic leaders balance achieving organizational goals with genuine care for their team's well-being, which can enhance morale, engagement, and productivity. That sounds good, doesn't it? A leader that actually cares about you, not just about the work you do or that you keep working for them, but that actually cares about you as an individual. It includes active listening, which means giving your full attention to what is being said when someone is talking to you, not what most people do is as someone's talking to them, they're thinking about what their response is going to be. But an active listener actually listens to the fullness of what is being said to them, asks questions to ensure they understand, and then they develop an answer. So there may be a moment, a pause, some silence between when the person you're listening to completes their speaking and you respond. And we have to become okay with that. Then we have emotional intelligence, which is a set of skills of becoming aware of your emotions and the emotions of others and how your emotions can drive your words and your actions and whether or not you're in control of them and how your actions affect others, but it's all driven by that emotional piece. It's a set of skills. Then there's compassion. We need to feel compassion for the people on our team, which means we need to have some sort of a relationship with them. You should know at least one hobby about every person on your team. You should know how many people are in their family. You should know whether or not they're married, whether or not they have children, and how many children they have. How many boys do they have? How many girls? You should know some personal things about the people on your team and have conversations about that and be able to relate to it, because that communicates loud and clear that you care about them as a human being, as an individual. That connection is vital. Then we have inclusivity, which means everybody's welcome. We want your best ideas, and we're going to create a place that's safe for you to share your ideas. It doesn't mean we're going to take your ideas all the time. That doesn't mean we're always going to do what you think is best. But what it does mean is we're always willing to listen to what you have to say, always willing to consider your ideas and see if they can add to what we're planning to do and make it better. And finally, there's adaptability. You have to tailor your leadership style to meet individual team members' needs and the needs of whatever's going on. So you must be adaptable as a leader. There's no longer this thing where you are always one way, never adjusting, never adapting, never willing to compromise. As leaders today, we must be adaptable. We must realize that people are complex. The situations we face are complex, that the business world is complex, and we need to be willing and able to adapt to what comes our way. And that means adapting to the people on your team. One person may be all about business, but the other person may need a little bit more handholding, and we need to be able to adapt to what our team needs. The approach is a contrast to traditional styles of leadership. It contrasts to authoritative leadership, what really we found out really doesn't work very well in most situations outside of the military. We have to emphasize that human connection with each and every person on our team. So tell me in the comments, do you consider yourself more rigid or more adaptable? Are you more of a command and control type of leader? Or do you have an ability to adapt and relate to your people on a one-on-one level, even on that personal level, separate from business, and still get the goals that you have on your team accomplished? If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Let me know your thoughts, and let's have a great conversation.